Coming up on Valley View News, protests intensify on college campuses in the U.S. Will graduation ceremonies be impacted? We have the answer. Plus, Hamas has accepted Gaza ceasefire deal. We have the details on what comes next. And Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt's newest action film has hit theaters. We'll tell you if it's a box office hit.
Anyone but him.
Hello, and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Hugo Maldonado Garcia.
And I'm Matthew Bragula.
The largest union that makes up 48,000 graduate student workers throughout the University of California system are planning to take a strike authorization vote. The vote comes as a response to how universities are cracking down on students' Gaza protests. The UAW Local 4811 announced the strike vote by saying that the use and sanction of violent force to end peaceful protest as an attack on free speech. The co-president of the union says that they have been calling for the University of California to de-escalate and negotiate with protesters, but failed to protect student and workers and allowed violence to occur. The union says it plans to file an unfair labor practice charge against the LAPD for the response to the protest without bargaining.
UCLA was one of several universities that staged pro-Palestinian encampments in the protest of the Israel-Hamas war. Police came in and cleared the encampment late last week. Valley View News was there to observe the aftermath and has the details on how the university plans on moving forward. What was once a 50-tent encampment in Royce Quad is now empty, after law enforcement agencies led by California Highway Patrol dismantled the encampment and ordered the more than 400 protesters to disperse or face arrest. Some obeyed, but many refused, locking arms to form a human barricade. After hours of chaos, CHP arrested more than 200 protesters, including students and faculty. Officials say most of them will likely be charged with misdemeanors, and very, very few will meet the threshold for a felony prosecution. Clearing of the encampment came after UCLA declared the demonstration unlawful, and protesters clashed with pro-Israeli demonstrators. UCLA Chancellor Gene Block released a statement saying that the encampment was becoming a focal point for violence.
A bunch of masked individuals came and decided to hop the fence.
Block also says it was a disruption to the campus and that demonstrators were blocking students from their classes. One student says he was blocked from his class because of his Jewish identity.
I was trying to walk through here on Monday. It wasn't security, it wasn't police. It was just 2 or 3 people part of the encampment. They said, you can't walk through here. And asked why not? I said, you're a Jew, we don't like Jewish people.
Classes at UCLA have now been moved to strictly online. Take a look at this. Most recently, we are told that a group of students were seen detained on the 3rd floor of a UCLA parking garage. It has not been confirmed if these students are part of an organized protest. It's also unclear when in-person classes will resume.
Thank you, Matt. After the encampments were breached, the UCLA facilities teams had to clear out what was left. Reports say that they had to take down several tents, remove personal belongings, and clean up the vandalism. Damages included graffiti on the buildings surrounding the encampment and parts of scaffolding being ripped from the library, which was used to create the barrier. Some students say that they are disappointed in the damage that their peers left, saying it diminishes the message of the protest.
Universities that have experienced pro-Palestine demonstrations are now worried about disruptions at graduation ceremonies. At some colleges, students booed and yelled during ceremony, and groups of people have rallied at others. In Florida, schools looked to Governor Ron DeSantis to help maintain law and order. Now universities like USC are taking steps to ensure a smooth commencement celebration by hiring extra security and screening attendance. These universities are making it clear that protesters will not be tolerated.
The tensions are also rising here at CSUN. Valley View News' Carolina Teo tells us how the demonstration was different than those seen at other universities.
Union power! Union power!
Tensions rising.
It's kind of like a near and dear to my heart.
CSUN student and faculty for justice in Palestine organized their People's University for Gaza event.
It's important to me because I'm an Arab student here at CSUN, and it's something that we've always learned growing up about the occupation.
It comes after violent demonstrations erupted at more than 50 college campuses across the country, with clashes, injuries, class and commencement cancellations, and hundreds of arrests. This demonstration, however, was different. Protesters hoping their school divests from Israel gathered to share food, art, music, and listen to guest speakers. SJP's board member and founder says their movement is not just for fun. They have very clear demands and goals.
So we are showing our university that if you're not going to provide it, we will give it to our students. So we are taking our university back for the people it really belongs to, which is the masses of CSUN, students, workers, and faculty.
Some curious students stopped by to learn more about what was going on.
I'm definitely in support, but it's hard. Like, you're on campus, you got to hit your classes. It's around finals time, but yeah, I'm definitely in support.
Carolina, thank you. An investigation is ongoing after firefighters found 2 bodies Sunday afternoon on Lindley Avenue in Northridge. LAFD was investigating the area for hazardous materials before they found 2 dead people along with a white powder inside a man-made cave. It is unknown what the powder was or if it was connected to the deaths, but authorities say the 2 bodies were believed to be unhoused individuals. No additional information is available at this time.
7 people were injured in a shooting at a nightclub in Long Beach. Officers responded to the area near South Street and Paramount Boulevard around 11:15 p.m. Saturday. Authorities say 4 people are in critical condition. 3 others were treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Long Beach PD says that all 7 victims sustained gunshot wounds. The suspects left the area before authorities arrived. Suspect information and a motive are still unknown.
A deputy shot a man during an overnight disturbance call in the city of La Puente. The incident happened around 1:20 a.m. Friday in the 600 block of Willow Avenue. The responding deputies arrived. The suspect was outside the residence arguing with his family members. The suspect armed himself with a paint roller that he used as a weapon when deputies tried to detain him. He refused to drop the weapon. The suspect then raised his weapon toward the deputy, and that's when the deputy shot him. He was taken to a local hospital where he is in stable condition. No other injuries were reported.
A man is behind bars after hundreds of dead animals were found on his property. When Fresno County deputies arrived at 41-year-old Carlo Mendez's home, they found pigs, goats, sheep, and 4 teenagers living in deplorable conditions. The 4 teenagers living with Mendez were placed into Child Protective Services, and Fresno Humane is working with authorities to rescue the animals. Mendez says he helps facilitate new homes for the animals. Authorities say that the property smelled like a sewer and had to put down several suffering animals. Authorities have arrested Mendez on child neglect charges and will most likely face animal neglect charges as well.
In other news, gas prices have been rising across the country, with California at the top of that list. Our Cooper Ignatian went to the pumps in Northridge to see how it's affecting the community.
Compared to last year, gas prices are up 18 cents, and Northridge locals are feeling the pain.
The people that I work with and stuff like that, a lot of them, they've kind of switched over to like hybrid vehicles and stuff. It's kind of got me like wanting to consider switching over to a hybrid vehicle.
According to AAA, with the weather heating up, so are the gas prices. Just in the last week, prices have gone up 8 cents nationally.
Right now in Northridge, regular gasoline is about $5.6, while premium, on the other hand, is almost $6 a gallon.
It's like close to like $6 for like premium gas. Just like literally crazy, bro. I'm just trying to live out here, you know?
The rising prices are also forcing students who are already budgeting to spend even more out of their pockets.
You try to put it like as much, like I know that if you put like for my car, I put like $50 and it only gets me like about like half my tank, like more, a little bit more. So kind of, yeah, a little bit more it's affecting me.
With the summer months here and the summer blend not going anywhere, residents are hopeful that a solution can be found at the pumps. Reporting from Northridge, for Valley View News, I'm Cooper Ignatian.
Cooper, thank you. Texas neighborhoods experienced heavy flooding over the weekend, leading to the rescue of more than 400 people. Some citizens with pets had to wait on the roof of their homes until game wardens in airboats came to help them. It wasn't just homes that were hit. Restaurants, gas stations, and hundreds of structures were submerged in water. The downpour covered the Houston area to rural East Texas, bringing more than 20 inches of rain in some areas. About 11 million people in Texas and Oklahoma were under flood watches over the weekend, and parts of Louisiana have filled reservoirs.
A zebra that was on the run for nearly a week in Washington state was finally caught on Saturday. The Regional Animal Services of King County say the female zebra, whose name is Shug, is one of 4 zebras that escaped a trailer 30 miles east of Seattle on April 28th. The trailer was headed to Montana when the owner had to make a stop. That's when the zebras saw their chance to get out. Shug crossed foothills for 6 days before being caught by private citizens and animal control officers in the Riverbend neighborhood. Animal Services say she was found in good health.
More to come on Valley View News. 3 bodies were found in Mexico. Officials believe that they could be those of missing American tourists. The latest on the investigation, that's next. And May 4th was this week, how Star Wars lovers were celebrating the special day. That's coming up after the break.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back. Let's travel to news overseas. Jasmine Cuza is in our digital media center with the latest international updates. Jasmine?
Thank you, Hugo. Hamas has agreed to the ceasefire proposal from Gaza. Egyptian and Hamas officials said the ceasefire deal will take place in stages, and Hamas will release hostages in exchange for Israeli troop pullbacks from Gaza. Israel has not made any comments. It is still unclear if the deal will bring an end to the war. Israel has ordered the closure of Al Jazeera, in the country calling it a criminal act. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu shared on X that the decision was unanimous and immediate action was planned. Al Jazeera's broadcast equipment was taken and the network was removed from cable and satellite. The Israeli Ministry of Communications blocked Al Jazeera's websites. Netanyahu accused of Al Jazeera of inciting against Israel Defense Forces soldiers and harming Israel's security. Al Jazeera condemned the decision and said they had every right to access the information. The UN Secretary General and other human rights groups condemned the closure, citing the freedom of press. The bodies of an American and 2 Australians have been discovered in the Mexican region. Video shows the area where the bodies were found. The discovery was made over the weekend after a burned pickup truck was found 40 miles away from the bodies. Police say they are still not sure if the bodies are those of the 3 missing tourists. The 3 friends are believed to have been surfing 60 miles south of Tijuana. Mexican officials say a phone, tent, and cell phone were found while searching in the area where the men were last seen. Despite the burnt state of the truck, investigators posted on Instagram confirming it is the same vehicle found by one of the victims. The U.S. State Department says they are aware of the reports of the missing bodies and are monitoring the situation. At least 57 are dead and hundreds are missing following flash flooding in Brazil. the local government has declared a state of calamity in some areas where more than 67,000 people have been impacted. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva met with officials to oversee relief efforts. On Saturday, water levels in Guaíba Lake rose 5 meters. Authorities are carefully monitoring dams as they are not equipped to hold a lot of rain. The climate crisis, such as burning fossil fuels, is the cause for the supercharging weather, and it could get worse over time. That's the very latest from the Digital Media Center. I'm Jasmine Cuza. Back to you.
Thank you, Jasmine. Some of your favorite snacks will no longer be served in public schools during lunchtime or breakfast. Valley View News tells us why. Assembly Bill 2316 would prohibit the sale of products like this that contain red food dye number 3, along with red food dye coloring yellow number 5 and number 6 in public schools around California. The first of its kind bill was introduced by Assemblymember Jesse Gabriel from District 46. He introduced the bill that says it would ban cafeterias from serving certain cereals, condiments, and baked goods for lunch and breakfast.
We are the same human being that lived in a cave 10,000 years ago. We are designed because our genetics haven't evolved at the same speed as technology has evolved. So our genetics are designed to interpret the information that we get from real foods.
Some of your favorite chili-flavored snacks contain food additives such as red dye 40, along with titanium dioxide, and blue dye number 1 and 2, along with green dye number 3. Now, these food additives are said to cause behavioral problems, which has yet to be proven.
In your stomach, but it never gets full. You can eat a bag of Cheetos, you will never be satisfied because you're not adding anything to your system.
Some in the food industry have countered that there's not enough scientific evidence to make that connection. Lawmaker Gabriel says that the goal of AB 2316 wasn't to pull products off of shelves, but to encourage food manufacturers to replace synthetic dyes with alternatives.
The Justice Department has launched its latest strike to stop Google's search dominance. The case began during Trump's administration after trying to persuade a federal judge that the company was illegally taking over the online search industry. Google was allegedly paying to make it the default search engine on Apple products. Government attorneys involved in the case say Google maintained an illegal monopoly through a series of contracts around the world, setting it as a default on many devices. District Judge Amit Mehta is expected to issue a decision later this year, with closing arguments continuing through Friday.
The U.S. Preventative Service Task Force is recommending women ages 40 and over to get a mammogram every year up until the age of 74. It includes cisgender women, non-binary people, transgender men, and those with families who have a history of breast cancer. Considering it's the second most common cancer for women, officials say a screening is highly recommended to help diagnose or detect the spread. Researchers found that Black women are more likely to be diagnosed at later stages compared to white women, which is why it is now encouraged to start early screenings.
A nonprofit held a culinary festival over the weekend to continue efforts of ending childhood hunger. Valley View News' Quinn Alexander was there to give us a taste of the curated food and drinks the celebration had to offer.
This is a good event to come to, so highly recommend.
Denise Gish was one of thousands to come to Taste of the Nation for No Kid Hungry, and she's no stranger to the cause.
We've been coming here, how many years have we been coming here? Maybe 2015, so for 9 years.
Taste of the Nation has taken place in Culver City for 32 years. Kathleen Polanzani is an event organizer and says over 40 culinary partners came to support.
Chefs love to feed people and they love to create community around the table, and that's all what No Kid Hungry is about, in trying to help end childhood hunger and ensure that all kids get 3 meals a day, 365 days a year.
LA Unified School District was in attendance, handing out chicken and lentil onigiri in their brand new mobile cafe.
No Kids Hungry was able to donate this food truck for us so that we can really let kids know that school food is cool It's different, it's hip.
Florence Simpson had a simple message.
We live in America, right? We shouldn't even have to be addressing this issue.
And Gish felt the same way.
It's unconscionable that children are hungry. So we need to do what we can so that no child is hungry.
Simpson says it's not just about nutrition, it's about making food that represents culture. And Taste the Nation was a perfect example.
I like the diversity of food here, and I've tried many different foods like sashimi and ceviche, but my favorite is the mochi donut.
If you get to know me, you'll know that donuts are my thing, so of course I had to try one. So good. Taste of the Nation will be back next year in Culver City. For Valley View News, I'm Quinn Alexander.
Quinn, thank you. When we come back, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons received their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Also, the Lakers fired their head coach following their playoff loss. Stay with us.
Luke! 911, where's your emergency?
Everyone's on their way. What happened? She's dead? Yes, please get my mom and dad. Oh my God!
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Welcome back. The Fall Guy descended at the box office, grossing only $28 million on its opening weekend. The film stars Academy-nominated actors Emily Blunt as the director and Ryan Gosling as a stuntman. The film is said to be an homage to Hollywood stuntmen who work in the industry. It comes a year after Blunt's Oppenheimer and Gosling's Barbie films dominated in theaters last summer.
Star Wars fans across the globe celebrated May the 4th this past Saturday. Fans celebrate the iconic films by dressing in Star Wars costumes and unveiling props from the series, as well as watching the beloved movies. Perhaps the most surprising moment of the day came when actor Mark Hamill, who famously played Luke Skywalker, arrived at a White House press briefing to praise President Biden.
I was honored to be asked to come to the White House to meet the president, the most legislatively successful president in my lifetime.
Hamill said he even gave Biden the nickname Joby-Wan Kenobi.
A legendary quartet was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Valley View News' Valeria Yanez attended the unveiling.
Honored for having over 6-decade careers in the music industry.
So I came here to see Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons to get the stars.
Frank Valli and the Four Seasons received their Hollywood Walk of Fame star after a successful career that has touched fans all over the world.
Musicals, 109 times in 7 different countries.
Welcome our newest Walk of Famer, Frankie Valli.
Valli accepted the star on behalf of the quartet, made up of Bob Guadio, who could not attend, and the late Tommy DeVito and Nick Massey. The group is known around the globe for memorable songs, including Big Girls Don't Cry and Walk Like a Man. Many of their fans have been waiting for this greatly earned moment.
I am a huge fan of Frankie and the Four Seasons and Jersey Boys, and I told myself at least a year and a half ago that whenever this day came, which I knew it would at some point, I would be here, and I'm so grateful that I did get to be here today. It was very special.
The notable group has sold over 175 million records worldwide. Valli's long career has led to the success of the Broadway musical Jersey Boys. It has been seen by over 18 million people worldwide and won 4 Tony Awards, including Best Musical in 2006. It is the 15th longest running show in Broadway history. Valli is known for his famous hits such as Sherry, Can't Take My Eyes Off You, and of course Grease, and his songs have been present in iconic movies such as Dirty Dancing, Miss Doubtfire, and more.
From Hollywood for Valley View News, I'm Valeria Yanez.
Thank you, Valeria. Caitlin Clark, the #1 overall pick in the WNBA draft, has made her preseason debut.
Other teams from scoring.
Well, last year Indiana was 10th in pace. Christy Sides telling us Clark rattles her second three.
And the athlete's transition to the big leagues was seamless. Clark showed out in her first game, scoring 21 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a pair of steals. Clark also showed off her insane range as she ended up knocking down 5 3-pointers. Clark and the Indiana Fever lost the game to the Dallas Wings 79-76. The Fever, along with Clark, will start their mission for a championship on May 14th in their first regular season game.
The Lakers have fired head coach Darvin Ham after losing to the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs for a second year in a row. The team has released a statement. Ham had 2 years left in his contract, but was fired after going 90-74 2 years with the team. The Lakers also fired their entire coaching staff. They hope these changes on the sidelines could bring the answer to winning another championship before LeBron decides to retire. The team hasn't given any hints on who will be Ham's replacement.
The LA Clippers have joined the Lakers in the offseason.
Two Bulls going at it. Gafford goes inside, lowers the shoulder, throws it down, and the foul!
After a hard-fought series, the Clippers fell to the Mavericks in 6 games. The Clips struggled for most of the series and were without Kawhi Leonard for all but 2 games. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving combined for 58 points and got a little bit of revenge as the Clippers eliminated the Mavs in 2020 and 2021. Paul George and James Harden combined to shoot 2 for 16 from three-point land, and Norman Powell led the Clippers in scoring. The Clips will begin moving to their new arena, the Intuit Dome, next season.
In baseball, Yankees slugger Aaron Judge has achieved a new milestone. Well, something like that. The AL MVP was ejected for the first time in his career on Saturday against the Detroit Tigers. Judge has been in the league for 9 seasons and has played almost 900 games, making 5 All-Star teams and setting the AL record for most home runs in a season. The umpire tossed Judge after he protested a called third strike in the 7th inning. Judge said he didn't even realize he was ejected until he saw the crowd's reaction. He ended the day going for 2 for 3 with a double as the Yankees won 5-3.
If you can't make it to Paradise Falls, you'll still be able to stay in the house that went there. Airbnb's new category, Icons, allows guests to stay in places that offer extraordinary experiences, themed around music, films, television, and sports. One of the most anticipated houses is a detailed recreation of the house from Up, which includes more than 8,000 balloons. Right now, it's currently residing in the Red Rocks of Abiquiu, New Mexico. Now, I don't know about you, but I think the only thing that could make this any more perfect is if the house actually flew.
You know what, Matt? With the 8,000 balloons, I think it would float.
I really hope so.
That's all for us at Valley View News. I'm Hugo Maldonado Garcia.
And I'm Matthew Brugula. For stories any time of the day, see our YouTube channel at Valley View News and our Instagram page at Valley View News CSUN. Thanks for watching.